Greg, how nice is it to get these 5 days after the pace you guys were on over the course of March and early April?
Yeah, it's nice. We haven't had a lot of breaks between games. Today's practice, we were able to do some different drills that you can't do when it's the day before a game. So yeah, we got some good reps today. It was a good little break for our guys to feel the ice in a different way.
And yesterday you had an opportunity to have the development squad come in and work with some of the guys and some of the new guys as well. Do you see them gravitate to that as far as yesterday is concerned?
Yeah, it's been great. Our development staff have been unbelievable in so many different areas. At this time of year, when we have new bodies coming in and we're onboarding some new players, it's a big part of what we do here and how we prioritize the development of the individuals and not just the team collectively. So some players got some good intakes, some good evaluations. Now they're being dropped into small groups and isolating things that they need to work on. Another opportunity for players to hear different voices, learn different things. That's not just the coaching staff. And then on top of that, Ellis was a great story coming back in his first game after being out for so long, and our development team among all the other departments who've done such a great job at these long-term injuries and getting guys ready to play in their first games.
Do you think that pace helps you set up for not only these last 8 games, but what might be on the horizon?
Yeah, anytime right now that we can get an opportunity to prepare a certain way and get ready for these games, it's great. Obviously, there's a balance. You don't want to go too long in between games, and the team loses a little bit of that competitive feel and flow of the speed of the game itself. But I feel this break is much needed and a good gap or sized gap for us before we play again.
You mentioned new guys. What does Dimitry Chikov, am I saying that? Chikov. What does he need to do to get into the playoff lineup kind of regularly?
I don't think much more than what he's already doing. He's been great coming in, someone who is still working at the English language, and how quickly he's been able to apply our systems, our concepts structurally. We've had obviously some other players that speak his language and have done a great job translating and mentoring him to help him get comfortable and play a certain way within our team systems. He's been really impressive with, obviously he's an undersized player, but there's no fear in him. He's you know, competitive along the walls. He wins battles. He's fast. He's always over top the puck. He's always really smart defensively off the puck, whether it's inside of structure or in the gray area in between the transitions. I think he just keeps doing what he's been doing, proving to be reliable and trustworthy on the ice, and then occasionally chip in some offense, which he has done. And over time, players will continue to earn that ice.
The player that has really stuck out to me in the second half of the season, just in terms of maybe a turnaround, is Bobby McMahon. What are you seeing from him just as of late?
Yeah, Bobby's been very impressive. You could argue he might be one of our most valuable players on the team. Power play, penalty kill, starting to take more face-offs now, willingness to block shots. Just his ability, his power and strength to transport the game from top of the circles to top of the circles, set up the O-zone, grab depth, forecheck and hit as F1, and then a scoring touch around the net. He's really starting to round out his game, and his playmaking to move the puck and make his teammates around him better has really elevated.
We're kind of getting to the end of the season, so we can reflect a little bit. Like, the thinking with Josh Hosang was just get him in here all season, right? And get him, like, have him develop all season and maybe take the carrot of the NHL away from him a little bit. How do you think that has helped him, just being here all season?
Anytime you have consistency for a player to be in one place, I think you find room for growth. He's done a great job at building a process for himself here and taking advantage of the resources. He's a very, very smart person. Probably the person as a staff, I know for myself, I've spent the most time with in meetings and watching film and just talking the game of hockey. I've learned a lot from him. He sees it different. And yeah, being here all year and him being willing to work at his game and do the things we're asking, he's definitely found space for improvement throughout the season. He should feel really proud of the work he's put in.
I'm always trying to find different ways to ask you about Nick Robertson. What's something that you think a lot of people don't know about his game?
I don't. Everyone sees the shot and the offense he can create. I don't think, and maybe people recognize it, but not necessarily see the impact it has, is when he's F1 on the neutral zone forecheck, the forecheck up ice, or he's the closest player to the puck when the opponent has the puck. His puck pressure and his relentlessness to just get on a guy, to take away that time and space to make everybody else's job behind him easier.
Right.
When you take away more time on a puck carrier, their brain has less time to process the game.
Yep.
They're going to make a more predictable play or a worse play. So then everybody else behind Robbie, it's just an easier read.
Yeah.
You know, like they just can see the game moving because that guy doesn't have time for deception, doesn't have time to make a creative play or have space to make a play. And then, so his ability to help the team to get the puck back and make it easy for everyone else is really impressive with his work ethic and his puck pressure.
Like when we talk about this being a game of inches, is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, that is a big part of it.
Yeah.
What intrigues you about Max Ellis coming into the organization?
His skill set, how he thinks the game. You know, it's no surprise after seeing him, the production he's had in the college level. In his first game, he made some really good plays. He positioned himself around the rink really well in the offensive zone. You know, it's still early for me to have a full rounded picture, but he's had a really strong impression to start.
I was wondering, Rick Bowness, Dallas Stars coach, maybe a week ago, talked about rest and talked about video and said coming into this part of the season, and it's different with the AHL, but like how often would you give players, like regulars on the team, more chances to look at video and more of that? Is, as a development process, is it similar to just as long as the season, or when we get closer to the playoffs, does it get do you do it a little bit more or less?
It's a good question. Earlier in the season, just to build the process for some guys who aren't used to watching video all the time, it's probably a little bit more asking them to watch video. You know, let's go look at some clips. Now, at this point, I think there's a little bit more allowing the players what they need. Now, obviously, if there's some things that we really value and think a player needs to see to make sure that a player is improving or helping the team, we'll show them. But as the year goes on at this time of year, you know, the year gets long, there's a lot of items, a lot of things going on. More so give them the freedom to come to us.